Give myself away. I give myself away.
God bless everyone. My name is Simey Doherty. I'm from Queensferry Church. A lot of you might know me as Paddy's son Simey, Paddy Simey. I've been a Christian now for about 7 years. The last 5 years I've been doing it right. I've been doing it as a Christian should be. I used to live a very bad life. You know, I used to mix around with a lot of men that did worldly things. And around Manchester, we used to take drugs, we used to drink, always fighting and arguing. Sometimes we'd talk in times when we pull our guns and we do stupid things, you know. Things of the past. I've been to jail for attempted murders and, you know, and different various things that I'm not proud of. But as the life was going on, you know, I moved away for a little while and then I came back to Manchester and it was still going as bad as ever. Me and my cousins was getting involved in arguments with other people and we're doing whatever we're doing. And life just started going really bad for me. Then I started getting mixed up with these other people, men from the town, not travellers, country people from the town, and we started collecting debts. And we really did go to the extreme in a very, very, very short time.
Well, you know, you say taxing people?
No, what we were doing, we're collecting debts. You know, we were going from like one firm to the next, and we're collecting. Sometimes we're going to London. If one firm on another firm money, we'd go and organise the money to be collected, to be given back in through. This was all in a very short time. Like, it wasn't a thing that was going on forever. But I knew it was coming to a stage in life where two things was going to happen, right? I'm going to be shot, or you're going to be killing someone myself. So I knew there was only two ways my life was going. I was getting fond of the drink, fond of drugs. My life was just upside down. It was just completely just a downfall, you know. There was no positives. The only positive I had was my wife, my Donna, and my sons, really. That was it. Everything else was all negatives. Everything else was always trouble and violence. There was never a future. So I wanted to, my wife was a Christian, but I didn't really want to become a Christian because all my family before me is Catholics. So I went to see a priest who married me. He married me and my Donna, right? So I went to see the priest, and he sent me confessions to him, and he told me to go like somewhere local because the priest was in Manchester. I lived in Queensferry, which I still live there now. So I went to see a little brother Lauren, his name was, a little monk he was, in the Holywell in Queensferry. And I spoke to him, I was telling him everything that was going on, and he was a bit dramatised by it all, you know. I was telling him all the different things that we were doing and what we wasn't doing and so on. And he told me, he said, look, maybe it's better for you to go to the headquarters, which is the Vatican Square, St. Peter's, Rome. So, because I was having these nightmares every night, and the same nightmare was, when I go to sleep was, I'd be in a mobile or chalet, whatever I had at the time, and I'd be in there, and the roof would get ripped off the head of the mobile, all times would be ripped off, and I'd be lying in there, and I'd be getting dragged off my bed, and me and my wife would be in the bed, you know, and I'd be getting dragged off the bed by a demon, and we'd fall through the floor of the mobile, and we'd land into total utter darkness, and it was a repeat at night. And the real part of it was, I'd be actually screaming and shouting in real life in the bed, and Donna would be trying to wake me up, and I wouldn't wake up. So this was continuing night after night. So I came to the stage.
This was a real thing that
yeah,
was
of course, yeah, real thing. This is what got me saved, to give God the glory. And it was happening night after night. So I came to the stage where I was frightened to go to sleep. And this was reality. I was frightened to go to sleep. So I was more heavier on the drink and the drugs and paranoias and all this kind of things was kicking in. I was going from bad to worse, right? And I thought this was a part of it. Then maybe times I wouldn't be drinking, right? And I still have these nightmares. It was always coming. So I went to Rome to see the Pope, and I couldn't get in to see the Pope. Obviously, I thought you could, you know. And when I went to see the Pope, I managed to see. I seen a little priest, and I said to him, Father, I said, when can I get in to see the Pope? He said, you can't. He said, he does the Mass, he said, on Sundays, and I think that time is a Wednesdays. So where they got the Mass, I couldn't see him. He came in this little buggy thing, gold car, whatever it was, and he said the Mass. So I went in and got confessions. And when I went to get the confessions in St. Peter's Square, there was all different boxes with all different languages from around the world for different people. So I went into the priest and I said, Father, forgive me for I've sinned. He was an American priest. And he said, okay. And I told him what I'd done and what I'd never done. What kind of man I was at home and what I'd done for a living and all these different things. You know? And by no means I'm saying that I was a cold-blooded murderer and that I lived a life of fearsome 24/7. It was just the road I was coming down to the end stages. Do you understand?
Yeah, that would have been
it. Was coming to the end. So
ended,
it was, I knew I was going to be killed or if not kill someone. I knew this was the way it was going. There was no other way to it. It was either going in the box or going into a cell. That's the way life was going to be. So I told the priest everything, and he was an American priest, and he said to me, I'll never forget it, and he said to me, he said, oh my God, he said, what kind of person are you? So I said, listen, Father, I said, I never killed no one, I said. So yes, I've done bad things, I said, but there's no one dead. I said, I said, so you shouldn't really be saying that to me. But he kept degrading me, made me smaller and worse. Everything had. So he made me feel this size. So to be honest with you, I looked around, but before I went in, I already looked around to make sure there was no cameras on the box, because I knew what I had to say. I didn't want to be brought in for it. So I looked around when I was inside the confession box to see if there was any cameras inside the box, and there wasn't. And I was genuinely going to hit him a clout. You know, I knelt down and I thought, I'll put this, God forgive me, I'll put this man asleep with a clout, right? And I was genuinely going to do it. But anyways, I walked out and he came out after me and he gave me a little medal this size and he said, here, look, there's so many Hail Marys, our fathers. And I wanted to give him a load of abuse, but I just never, I wanted to say to him, how dare you? You mean, come out now and tell me, say 3 Hail Marys, 4 our fathers and everything's going to be okay. So I walked outside the door and to be honest with you, I phoned my wife up. And I said to Donna, to be honest with you, I'm finished. I said, what do you mean? I said, I went over, I said, I'm here now, I said, and I spoke to the priest and things, and he's made me 10 times worse. So she said, just come home. So my flight was booked for the next day. So that night I ended up going on the bear on my own. I drank all night through, got up the next morning, well I only had about an hour's sleep. Got up the next morning and I missed my flight coming home, everything worse. So when I did come home, my wife was already a Christian at this stage. You know what I mean? So when I did come home, the wife said to me, she said, why didn't you come to church? So I said, no, not for me. But anyways, I ended up going to church. Me and a very good friend of mine called James Loveridge. And I ended up going to church, me and James at the back end of the church. And I listened to the men preach, and I thought, you know what, I've got nothing to lose. I'll go and give my life to the Lord. And I gave my life to Jesus at that stage. But what I done is, I made a decision. I never actually gave my life. I still wanted to continue doing the things that I used to do. But at the one time I thought, well, I treated it like a religion. I treated, well, if I say the sinner's prayer, that means I'm saved. That means I'm okay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, because I was still living the life that I shouldn't be living. So as time is going by, I was still doing the things that I shouldn't be doing. But I did feel a peace in my heart. When I went into the church, I felt like a peace, right? I felt like goodness.
Yeah.
But as soon as I came out of church, I continued. So
yeah.
Some people might say, well, I only made a decision, but I believe God was still going to work with me, because there was so much to clean up in my life. There were so many wrongs to clear up and clean up. I believe the Lord was still going to work with me. Well, He was, clearly. So my mate James died. He was my best mate in the whole world, you know. I had many good mates, but James was my brother, you know. And he died in a car accident, God rest his soul. So when he died, I didn't want to go on the bear no more, because he was my drinking partner, right?
Yeah.
We'd done everything together, right? So when he died, I said, do you know what, I want to stop now. But I didn't know how to stop. I tried and God would help me, and I'd always fail God. So what I done is, I got a CD of a man called The Heavenly Man, a Chinese man, Brother Young.
Yeah, know it.
And he fasted for so long inside the cell when things were going wrong. God did miracles in his life. So I can read, but I couldn't study long enough. In 5 minutes reading, and I'd lose everything. I mean, the brain, too many malfunctions when I was younger.
Somebody can't concentrate too long, yeah.
So what I done was, I started the fast. And I fasted for, I done I think it was 119 days in total. What I done, I fasted every day for 64 days, I think it was, till 3 o'clock. I never had anything till 3.
Yeah.
So I could always do maybe a month or two off the beer when I was off the beer.
Yeah.
But now I started to feel thirsty for the drink. So
Yeah.
what I done then, for an extra 30 days, I went without no drink, no food, no water till 3 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
So I knew if I wanted to go for a drink, I was a binge drinker. If I drank, I'd drink for 3 or 4 days. I wouldn't go for the pub and have 5 or 6 pints. Then it came to a stage I knew I wasn't doing enough for God. Well, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. So what I done then, for another 24 days, which knocked into 120 days, 119 days, somewhere like that, I went with no food, no water, till 6 o'clock that evening, till 9 o'clock that evening.
And done that
So
every
in between
day.
them 3 hours, I could eat and drink. As soon as it went 1 minute past 9, I never drank till 6 o'clock the following night.
Yeah.
And I can truly say that God, at them stages and that time, He took everything out of my life.
Yeah.
I have, many years ago, come back in to the world, and shame on me for doing it, just to try it, because I've done it for so many years and so long, and it was never ever the same. It was I never ever benefited out of it. But now, standing here before you, and I can give God the glory, that I'm as clean as a whistle. You know, I ain't a perfect man by no means, but I do try and serve God. And God has done that many things in my life, and He's helped me in that many different ways. He's took all the wrongs out of my life. We've got a little sick boy. Well, he's not sick no more. He's got Down syndrome. And the doctors told us that he was going to die, and not that he was going to die, but he's going to have all these different things in him and all these different problems in him. And my child is as good as any other child now.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the symptoms of it, no doubt. But listen, he's everything.
I
My
see.
wife, my marriage at home. God has blessed me in that many different ways. But most importantly, I'm saved. I genuinely can say I'm saved. I'm a bit of a black sheep now to my family. Once upon a time, I wouldn't say I was ever the head man of my family, definitely not. But I was someone who my family looked up to and spoke to if there was a problem or an issue. Me and my family go and deal with the situation. But now, I don't mix with no one. Now, I only mix with all Christians. I try to anyways. I do mix with my family. But they all know I'm a Christian. I had a couple of my cousins telling me the other day,
And now they think you're mad.
well, do you know what? Do you know, at first they thought I was mad. At first I think some of them thought I was a coward, to be truthful with you. Some of them, I think, thought that I was a coward. I was trying to find a way out of arguments by becoming a Christian.
Yeah.
And this goes for uncles, aunts, all this. And do you know what? Now they know I'm not. Now they know I'm a proper man, because now I fight the fight for God. And it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and coming from my background and my family. Because now I stand firm for God. And it's easy for someone to say, well, come on, we're going to do this.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
come on, we're going to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's very hard to say, no, I don't do that now because I serve God. And I
Yeah.
do it because I love Jesus. You know, and that's the way
Yeah.
God has blessed me in my life. And I just listen. I give everyone the glory you're in. I give God the glory, and I thank God for you that we can do these things. But I've changed, and I thank God that I've changed. I'd never change anything back to the way it was.
Praise the Lord. Me neither. You won't go. You don't want to go back to what you did.
No.
Whether it was a little bad or a lot. You don't.
Yeah,
You don't
I've done plenty of bad, but I was a good person through the bad. I know that sounds stupid, like, but I thought I wasn't doing wrong. Do
Yeah.
you understand?
I
Even
know
though I
what you mean.
knew I was doing wrong, I knew what I was doing wasn't right, but I still overall thought it's okay.